Welcome into another episode of Doc's Daily. I'm Detroit Lenny here, joined on a Tuesday with Griffin Murphy, Tony George, as always on Tuesday. Back Monday through Friday, we're here 1 o'clock Eastern. Saturday, it's chaos, and it's at 11 a.m. on Saturday. So join, if you will. Bring your comeback gear. I don't know what to tell you. Welcome into another episode, though, of Doc's Daily. Don't forget, like, share, subscribe. Drop in the comment section. You got questions about today's slate? You want to talk about last night's college football? Whatever you want to talk about, let's talk about it. Drop it in the comment section. Don't forget, free $60 account. We offer this to all new customers. You can try us out absolutely free over at the website. There's a link in the description of the video, docsports.com/free 60. And you can use that on both these handicappers for one day. It's $30 a day. You could split it between the two. You can use that on anything you want. A week pass, month pass, season pass. You do you, Pikachu. Anything you want over at the website. Let's get into it. I thought that was a great game last night, Tony George.
Unbelievable.
Right?
Unbelievable.
I thought that was a good game.
Unbelievable. I took the under 47. It landed on 48.
So did I.
There's just
I had over 47 and a half. And let me tell you, I got lucky. By the skin of my chinny chin cheek, I'm telling you.
That one screwed us. I thought if they got a first down there under 2 minutes, that Cignetti would just. They only had one timeout left. It had been victory formation, but you got to hand it. You know, I've been around a while, 35 years doing this, and I've never seen anything like the Indiana story the last 2 years. Bill Snyder turned around Kansas State, but it took him 10 years for them to be a powerhouse. I mean, you're in a conference in this day and age with the likes of Michigan, who's had their problems, internally, but Michigan, Ohio State, Penn State, Wisconsin, the Nebraskas of the world even, I mean, you take a look at Nebraska, my alma mater, we've sucked moose dick since 2001. We lost to Miami, who played last night. That was their last national title game. And they had Ed Reed and all the studs that year. We had the Heisman Trophy winner and Eric Crouch. We'd won Solich had won 80% of his games. After that game, we fired him. And we've never recovered with the resources and the fan base and the facilities that Nebraska has, which is second to none in college. We've not been able to turn it around. We just now, in the last decade, the last 2 years, got to bowl games. They both sucked. They're crappy bowls, but we got to them finally with Rule. But this guy to go in and do what he did at Indiana,
He's the man.
I mean, and on top of beating Miami in their own house, the 2 games before that, he made Alabama look like a complete butt clown. Same thing with Oregon again.
How hard is it
to beat Oregon twice in 1 year? I mean, unbelievable.
I was really impressed with not only how they won in their story, but just how they just did what they wanted whenever they wanted. They were good on all sides of the ball, the offense, defense, special teams, everything. Everything was good on all aspects of that. I don't see a game where they really slowed down. You were waiting for
not all year.
For a drop-off point, or maybe they peaked at some point. Hell, I think they just got better throughout the year. And
those games against Ohio State and Iowa prepared them for this game against Miami. They came up against a really tough opponent. I told Griffin, on Gridiron Six-Pack, the first week of the year that Miami probably had as much talent on both sides of the ball as anybody in the country, especially defensively. I think Beck was the question mark that we had.
Yeah.
He kind of pissed down his leg towards the end of his Georgia career, and you didn't quite know what you were going to get. They were paying him a lot of money, and there's some pressure, and we didn't know how. But I thought man for man, they were about the best in the country. 1-2 punch at running back, and Indiana. Everybody kind of thought, well, that's a one-hit wonder. The guy showed up. All these guys from James Madison just up on everybody. They're not going to. People are going to be looking for him this year, and they were. They still kicked shit out of everybody. And one tight ball. That ball game against Penn State, when he threw that pass in the end zone with like 16 seconds left to win the game, when they were dead to rights beat, that's what won Mendoza the Heisman Trophy that game.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's just like, and then you had the Heisman curse you got to worry about. That didn't affect him. The kid can ball.
Yeah. That kid's a baller for sure. I can't wait to see him in the NFL. It's going to be a sad story when he goes to the Raiders, but
polite guy and praising Jesus and all that, which is nothing wrong with that.
Right.
But underneath all that, that kid's a competitor.
Yeah. He said, "I'll die for my guys on the field." That's a guy you want in your locker room every day, whether he's talented or not. You want that guy in your locker room. He is also talented.
I couldn't lay the 8.5. It went down to 7. I couldn't lay it. They didn't cover it, but they hadn't got a lot of respect this year. They got it in that game to lay 8.5. And trust me, I bring up Nebraska again, but in the 80s, we had to go down and play Miami every year in the Orange Bowl for the national title. Mm-hmm. Could never beat them in. And I know it's at Hard Rock instead of down there in Homestead in the ghetto, but it's still not the greatest location in Miami to play, but at Days End, it's very difficult to go into somebody's home field in their backyard 3 miles from campus. And, when they got a national title contending team with a better line up front on both sides and going there and beat them is that's.
And Indiana, throughout the college football playoffs, honestly had it the roughest out of every team, I would say.
Yeah.
Obviously, one team that wins their bye game, then they win that matchup, follow that up with another huge win. Indiana did everything right this season, and going into Miami, taking it 27-21. They just looked flawless across both sides of the field, and nothing new. They did the same thing they did all season long. They bullied on the offensive line. They bullied on the defensive line. The one thing I will say is they actually were outpassed in that game. The biggest thing for them was third down conversions. They went 3 for 11 on third downs, and I think that was a big deciding factor for Miami in this game. But again, they did everything right. Defensive line was there on the push. Offensive line was there on the push. Mendoza played a hell of a game. No turnovers. Very good game for both sides. It was just, that's a national championship.
Right, it was a game. It was a hell of a game.
Yeah,
for a second, I thought Miami was in it. I really did.
I thought they had the whole game.
Had every chance to. They were going to the
first half was horrible for them.
Yeah.
I mean,
going into the fourth quarter, they were 0 for 7 in third down conversion.
Third downs, yeah.
And they gave up a special teams touchdown, and they were only down 3.
Right.
You're sitting there going, what the hell? Indiana is it. And there were some missed calls on both sides of the ball. You can argue that, but at Days End, they deserved it. They won it. They took it. Miami handed it to them, gave them opportunities. They took advantage of every one of them.
Fair enough. Sad. Football's over.
Natty did it. Yeah, I know, bro.
Let's go ahead and let Griffin. Let's get it out.
No, dude, we ain't even doing it right now. We're not doing it right now. I can't.
Talk about the Bears.
I'm still destroyed right now. I can't do this shit right now.
He's still too early for him. That's okay. Let's talk. Hey, somebody asked in the chat about potential teasers for this weekend. I mean, can we talk like the matchups for this weekend are it's so like
you can talk NFL.
Bo Nix.
You gotta tease dogs.
You have to, right? You have to. But how sad? Denver, man. Denver fans, you get all the way up, all that. You're all the way up. And then the sale, they just sweep the legs on your ass. Bo Nix out for the rest of the year.
Ask me a question. Answer me a question. How many games this year? compare a Bo Nix to a Josh Allen or a Patrick Mahomes, where they need them to win the game.
Right.
Agreed.
They don't need. He was not that guy.
Yep.
He was a game manager, and Peyton's a good enough coach. I'm just saying. And in these games, you have an interesting dichotomy, and we talk about it all the time. Griff, we do the.
Mm-hmm.
So you have Drake May or Jason Statham. Well, May's a better quarterback.
Sure.
On the other game, you got Darnold, who didn't have to do anything last week, threw 125 yards
really didn't.
in a blowout win, or you got Matt Stafford.
Yep.
You don't need to talk to Griffin about Matt Stafford.
I hear you.
And I don't need to sell Lenny on him either. He was an ear boy forever.
He is what it is.
But you got to ask yourself, and I took a 7-unit on Seattle because that was San Francisco's 5th game in 27 days. And it was the only 3rd game for Seattle in 30 days. Hell yeah, I'm going to take them and lay a 7. I mean, because you get beat up this time of year. Now you've got 2 heart attack wins against Carolina and frickin' Chicago, where you basically grab victory from the jaws of defeat and, gave up the wildest play I've ever seen in my life. Touchdown there.
Yeah.
When he threw it to the tight end. And,
Matt, yeah.
But I mean, I'm not kicking Denver to the curb totally because he's out. And Steedham started in the NFL, and then on the other side, though,
New England's rolling.
Yeah, they are.
You know what I mean? They are playing good ball.
They struggled in that game against Houston, against that defense. Now they're on the road. They're going to struggle again offensively. I'm leaning under early in that one, especially with Denver trying to, piecemeal an offense together with a quarterback that really hasn't played at all this year, although he's not without some merit. It's not like it's not like sticking,
He's been in the NFL since 2019. I want to say he got drafted. He has been all over, and his numbers aren't great, but he's been with Denver before. He's been with the Patriots, I want to say, before, the Raiders before. He's been around 4 or 5 different teams. And go back to your point, Tony, this is one of those situations where is Denver won all year long? It's been on the defensive side, and then they've had Bo Nix controlling the tempo on the offensive side, just moving the chains, controlling the ball. So in a situation like this, it's not like you lost Patrick Mahomes. It's not like you lost Josh Allen. It's not like you've lost your all-time gamer. Granted, yes, this is a different quarterback who I do not believe has ever had a start in the NFL. But at the same time, that's not how Denver's won their games all year long. They've won it on the defensive side and controlled with offense. So if this kid could come into the game, they have a good run game with Harvey. They have a good pass game. It is, how well is this kid going to play? And can they establish clock management in this game and allow their defense to dominate against Drake May and this New England Patriots offense, which that's going to be the deciding factor. But this is no laydown. Everyone I'm talking to, they're all Denver season's over. What a terrible situation. It is terrible for Bo Nix to go down. But at the same time, this is not a lay down game, and Denver is not going to roll over. They've got Sean Payton. They've got I'm not going to say a better coach, but a coach with more experience at this level, I must add.
I think Payton's the best coach. Vrabel's a good coach as well. Obviously, all those years down in Tennessee. But, I think this is a game you bet the first half under in. I think it's going to be a feeling out process.
Yeah.
And in the second half, they might open it up a little bit. I bet the first half under last night, but I could feel it. It was going to explode. And so I hedged against my overall under 47 and bet the over in the second half and just barely hooked it. But, this is the game you might want to bet the under first half in. The Denver game, you got to play to your strength. The problem with Denver is they haven't been able to establish the run since Dobbins went down. Then they turn around outrushed Buffalo. I mean, I don't know. You don't know. They got
That's
to
the
go. And
problem,
of course, Buffalo's run defense sucks. You
Yeah.
know.
Yeah,
I think they should have. You think they use that coach as a scapegoat?
Who's that?
Josh Allen.
Buffalo, yeah.
We talked about it last week. I said, if this son of a bitch doesn't win this game,
McDermott.
hard to hear about how great he is. You can't win in the postseason.
Oh,
Right,
prove
you
it.
can't win in the postseason, and at some point you got to take the next step.
I don't know how
and
Sean
on
McDermott.
the Denver point, I think Denver's going to miss from Bo Nix more than anything. I think he's a game manager for sure, but I think they'll miss his legs. And
Yeah.
I think that's what they're going to miss the most out of that. And whether that affects the run game as a whole, I don't know, but we're about to find out. I love that the Patriots haven't lost on the road anywhere this year, and I love that the Broncos are 8-1 at home. I just think that this is going to be a good game, and I 100% agree with your first half under, because I think if you're going to give me to choose between what more points are scored in which half, it's the second half. I think it's a feeling out process, slow and steady. Let's see what they bring to the table. Let's see what we can even do. And then second half,
See if this quarterback can throw the ball.
Yeah, let's see where we're
important.
at. Let's see what they bring. If I'm the New England Patriots, they're gonna bring everybody.
They are, because there's no run threat. That's it.
There's none. They're gonna stop that run threat.
Be honest on defense against Knicks, or he'll kill you. You don't have that threat here.
I would expect a lot of dump offs to Harvey though early. He is a good receiving back on the outside.
Quick screen passes, some slant routes, some up and unders, some stuff like that.
I'd look at his receptions over. I wouldn't look at his yards. I'd look at his over on receptions. I bet he's going to be a main target in this game, especially early often with this kid getting his first start.
That's fair. Let's talk about some today action. We got NBA across the board. Some which I think actually is some pretty good college basketball on today. And then surprisingly, back-to-back full NHL slates. So, I'm just rolling in the shit here.
I took Vegas on the puck line yesterday.
I had Vegas killed.
Gosh, damn it. Plus 120. Philly couldn't get out of their own way, and they ended up beating them straight up. I just took a step back. NBA, I got to pick a play out tonight. Prop play, if you've been paying attention to the Lakers, and I put this up on the channel, but I'm going to tell you, LeBron over 22.5 tonight against Denver. Probably that's going to cash. I mean, it's like 120. Ever since Austin Reeves has been out, LeBron has averaged 26 a game. Not bad for an old 40-some-year-old man.
And it's the night game.
11 out of his last 13 games, he's exceeded 22.5 points. And I put that out. I bet it personally. I have a 2-pack. I usually don't do more than two prop plays on a card. I like the low volume surgical strike approach, but that was almost did a triple header, stuck that on there for a couple units, but I did bet it myself personally.
I like it as well. For the Lakers to compete in this game, LeBron's going to have to have himself a day. Denver's just on 1 day's rest, back at home again, back-to-back games. This is a game where LeBron and the Lakers do need to go off, but it does fit in at 9 o'clock. It's the last game on the slate, so peak performance will play into a role. LeBron's an old guy. I do like that play as well, Tony, on over props. I have a huge prop card today. I have a 6-unit prop, part of a 4-play card. Nice. 10 units inside. So I don't do that typically. I'm very small at props. I have a big card today. Loved it. All NBA.
I liked it. I like that as well because it's on TV. It's a nationally televised game on NBC, and LeBron will show out for the television.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's just that's not a dig on LeBron. That's just how the NBA is. Nationally televised games. A lot of these players in general get up for those games, and
And how does Denver respond off a 110-87 loss at home to Charlotte?
This team has been weird.
The mighty Hornets.
I know joking's out, but I mean, dude, you got to break 95 at home against Charlotte or something.
I mean, you talk about
they snuck by Washington,
Atlanta like a week ago in there and lost.
Mm-hmm. And they barely snuck by Washington, who's absolutely terrible. They lost to Brooklyn earlier on this month. This Denver team has just been so inconsistent and tough to bet on, I will say. They're one of the teams that's kind of on my no-bet list right now. A lot of weird lines with them.
Yeah, it's a get-right game for if LA's going to get their, 5-5 their last 10 straight up. They're kind of hitting and missing. You don't know, but they're dangerous when Reeves and James and Doncic are playing, and Hachimura is and he's in good. And if he's healthy, he's not 100% yet. He's limited on his minutes, but they're formidable. You would think the number they're begging you to take them.
Yeah,
but this is kind of a get. If they go in there and get beat by 7 or 8 tonight against Denver without joking, you got to start asking yourself a few questions about LA.
Yeah, a lot.
Agreed.
Hey, I don't boast my NBA knowledge by any means, but I think my Pistons are legit. I watched that game last night against the Celtics, and I felt good about it. I felt a little bit of physicality in that bad boy mentality that Detroit Pistons are known for. And I don't like Asir Thompson or Asir, however you say his first name, Thompson. I don't like that guy or whatever, but man, I feel like that team will fight at center court if you want to, but they're a physical basketball team. Isaiah Stewart scares the shit out of me. If you saw him on a dark alley out of a bar, you would go the other way. I'd leave my wallet on the ground and go the other way, folks. I'm just saying, he looks like a bad mamma jamma. And they looked good, and I know it's the Celtics, and they're not 100% and all that, but that was a battle. That was a battle, and I like the battle.
Brown put up 39. They still beat him, dude.
Yeah,
I had him over on the prop. If you go to Doc Sports YouTube channel for my free play yesterday, I told you Jaylen Brown's going to go points, assists, and rebounds way over. He did, but he put up 39. They still couldn't beat him. I mean, I said earlier this year, Detroit was my top pick on the season win totals. They came on, and it's amazing because they were a doormat there a couple years ago. They were horrible.
Very
recent. Nice job.
Yeah, very recent, within a couple of years. So nice turnaround. I just like to be competitive. It's who'd have thought at this time of year we'd be talking about possibly the Pistons out of all 4 teams from Detroit being the one that could be competitive.
You're top 4 team in the East right now. You're going to be in the playoffs, probably if you keep it up and maintain some sort of consistency. You're going to have home court in the opening round, and just keep.
They got
rolling.
the third best record in the NBA.
Philadelphia. You never know who's going to play for them. Embiid's in one game, out in one game. I
still think the Cavs are legit. I still think the Cavs are legit in the East, and I think the Knicks will always be a problem for us.
Cavs need Garland in the lineup.
I was going to say they're not the same team. I'm not big on the Cavs this year right now.
I know Donovan's a stud, but Garland in there keeps defenses more honest, and that really opens it up for everybody.
The speed.
Agreed.
Oh my God, you this guy right here, he's got a future on the Pistons to win the East at plus 1,500 at the beginning of the year. Now it's plus 330. I mean, that's live. That's a live.
Let it ride.
I don't know about the Red Wings. My Red Wings, they just piss me off. They're just meant to piss me off. Like they exist to piss me off. I'm becoming not a Steve Eiserman fan.
They lose games they should win, and they win games they should lose.
And that's how
I'm starting to bet them.
That's how you don't make money in betting sports. Right there is if teams do that to you. And right now, the Red Wings owe Steve Eiserman's borderline personally owes me money at this point. I think I'm gonna have to call him. He owes me money. Okay, I'm just saying. Blake Griffin, when he played for the Pistons, he owes me money. I'm petty like that. I'll hold a grudge. Griffin Murphy, what do you got going on today?
I've got a loaded slate. I got a 5-unit college basketball play, goes off at 7 tonight. I'm 3-0 in my last 3. And this is something actually I wanted to talk about. I'm glad Tony's on the show for this one so we can get in some risk management. So I had my game of the year last week on Vermont. 8-unit selection, as everybody knows.
Talked about this on Saturday.
Since I've lost that game, that 8-unit play, I've had 3 selections in college hoops. I've had 2 2-units and a 4-unit. All have cashed. I had 3 plays. I have made back my 8-unit loss that I've been ripped apart brutally across every single social media platform. But if you were just on my week pass, guess what? You're back to break even. So that is the reality of sports handicapping. Everybody wants to bust that load on that huge play. And then when it doesn't hit, flip out at everybody about it. Well, now I'm 3-0 in my last 3, right back to profit. And now I have a 5-unit selection tonight. When that play cashes, now we're back in profit, $500, 5 units, whatever you guys play on your unit size. That is risk management, and that is how we play as handicappers, and that is how we end in profit. Everybody flips out over the big plays. Well, ladies and gentlemen, 3 plays later, we're back right where we started, getting ready tonight to be back in profit on that situation. So that's another thing. I wanted to get on and talk about that 5-unit college hoop selection tonight, as well as I have a 7-unit on the ice. I'm 7-2 in my last 9 for $1,500 in profit. I've won 4 days in a row in hockey. So again, free 60 link if you guys want to get on board, jump on board. We're rolling hot right now.
I like how you said that, and I'll tell you what, I'd recommend every one of you to watch the Tony George Sports Betting 101 videos, or all of them, to be honest with you. But Tony most recently did a risk management video, just how this and the value of smaller unit plays. You know, at the end of the day, it's all at the end of the year. It's, you know, people don't say, you know, how it's what your W-2 or your 1099, it's what you made at the end of the year. Nobody asks what you made only on Tuesdays. The government takes taxes all year, not on Tuesdays. Okay. So, you know, it's about the end game, the big picture. It's not a sprint. It's a marathon. Yeah. There are opportunities to sprint, but there is ultimately at the end of the day, it's a marathon.
Go ahead. I'm telling you, it's on my profile page over at the website. Scroll down by halfway on the profile page. I kept it permanent there. Called The Value of 3 and 4 Unit Betting. And, you know, you young cats out there watching this, you can't get a little bit pregnant. I said that on the video.
That was the best fucking
one. Yeah, I'm just saying.
When I watched that video, I was like, I'm just
but everybody wants the big hitter, you know, and you know, Griff hits more of these big ones than he doesn't. He's known for being the big game hunter. That's his approach. My approach is different. And I love Griff. I hang out with him. We have a lot of fun. You know, we talk shop a lot on the phone and text, you know, share notes in the morning before plays go out. And, you know, but at the end of the day, you know, Griff has a 5-unit college basketball play today. Well, I have a 4-unit college basketball play today. That doesn't mean that mine's a piece of shit. It means that Griffin has a stronger position than I do, but I have determined after 35 years of doing this that college basketball play, which is a singled out best bet, pardon me, is the absolute best bet on the board.
Right.
But I've been sucking moose dick for the last 2 weeks. As a matter of fact, everybody that works for me in college basketball, Monday morning I took them out in the middle of the street and I shot them. They're done. So what I'm doing now is surgical strikes. And finding the best bet on the board and betting it. And I will tell you, I said in my video, my 3-play video today, a game in the Mo Valley, if I wasn't in a slump, this would have been a 7-unit pick. But I am just risk management. I know you're down. I got you down. I'm bringing you back up slowly but surely. And that's how we're going to do it.
Yep. And that's part of, you know, Doc Sports been around forever. Tony George's been doing this forever. I mean, that's all part of it. You know, everybody goes down. What goes up comes down. You know, and you just got to try and, you know,
peaks and valleys.
Stay up more than you're down. You know, I mean, at the end of the day. But it doesn't mean it's the end of the world. The sky's not falling, Chicken Little. It's Tuesday, and the sun will rise tomorrow, and it will be Wednesday.
Sometimes you can't convince them otherwise. 3 out of the last 4 years, I have had winning seasons in the WNBA. And of those 3 years I won for the entire season, including the playoffs, it was 61% against the spread or better. You know how hard it is to go 61% in a season in any pro sport? And I got grief from clients going, you don't put out enough picks. What are you talking about? What's wrong with you? How can you don't do more top picks? You're on an 8-1 run. No, I got another 4-unit best bet. Keep plugging. Tortoise in the hare. Slow and steady wins the race. You know, I'm not that guy. If you want that guy, you can go to the best bet section on Docs, and someone's that guy that day. It's just not going to be me very often, you know. But you win 3 out of 4 years, 61% or better, and you're bitching. You don't know jack shit about betting sports then. Slow down. Take it easy. Roll slow. You know, and the best time to catch a handicapper is off a big play loss, by the way.
Yep. Yeah. Absolutely. You'd be 3-0. You'd be exactly.
Yeah. Handicapping. Right. Exactly. Ride the wave, folks. Don't forget, use that free $60 account. You can get that. Use that on Tony George's plays. You can use that on Griffin Murphy's plays. You can break that up between the two. Use that free $60 account on anything you want over at the website. There's a link in the description of the video. We will be back. You guys will be back next Tuesday. Any big plans this week?
Get better from this cold.
All right. Fair enough.
Hammer another 7-unit play in the NFL this weekend. Back-to-back 7 unis. First one won by 12 points over the spread. I'm still trying to count how many points that Seattle won by San Francisco. But it's pretty substantial. It'll be out on Thursday, baby.
Yeah. If you wait, I think you could still hear Seattle scoring on San Francisco right now if you listen real closely. Sorry, Niner fans. I don't want no smoke. Good luck unless you're against us. We'll be back tomorrow, 1 o'clock Eastern.